Economic recovery will be the first item on the agenda when President Obama, Mexican President Felipe Calderón, and Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper meet in Guadalajara. All three countries have been struggling through the global economic downturn. Robert Pastor, the co-director of the Center for North American Studies at American University in Washington, expects the leaders to discuss ways to make their economies more competitive.
The economies of all three countries are doing very poorly, and whether they could coordinate and consult better than they have in the last year would be a good step forward.
Canada is America's top trading partner, and Mexico is number 3, so trade will also be one of the summit's main issues. Last year, U.S. presidential candidate Barack Obama advocated renegotiating the 1993 North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, which created the world's largest free trade area. He has since changed his mind. While visiting Ottawa in February, President Obama told Canada's leader he's now focused on how best to implement NAFTA.
I recognize the concerns of Canada, given how significant trade with the United States is to the Canadian economy. I provided Prime Minister Harper an assurance that I want to grow trade and not contract it.
Sabina Devon, Assistant Director of International Economic Policy at the Washington-based Center for American Progress, says it's not likely that talk of renegotiating NAFTA will resurface.
I think that it's sort of being, tossed up in trade circles. I don't think at this point in time that it is a very serious threat.
The North American neighbors are expected to talk about cooperation on energy and the environment. Prime Minister Harper laid the groundwork for those discussions when he and Mr. Obama met in Ottawa in February.
We are establishing a U.S.-Canada clean energy dialogue, which commits senior officials from both countries to collaborate on the development of clean energy, science, and technologies. That will reduce greenhouse gases and combat climate change.
Canada and Mexico are the United States' top 2 foreign sources of energy. Perhaps the most urgent issue to be discussed in Guadalajara is the expected re-emergence of the H1N1 swine flu, which swept through Mexico and the United States earlier this year. Dr. Mirta Rosas Periago, the director of the Pan American Health Organization, says the North American nations cooperated very well to limit the damage from the outbreak.
They shared information, they were very transparent. They acted with a lot of solidarity, not only among themselves, sharing resources and information, but also with the rest of the world.
Dr. Rosas says she hopes the North American leaders will not let their country's economic woes limit their preparations for the next appearance of H1N1.
That they commit themselves and also make a call to the rest of the countries that have less resources to protect the investment in public health infrastructure.
The three leaders are also expected to discuss organized crime, especially the violent drug syndicates in Mexico and in the western Canadian city of Vancouver. They're likely to cover regional strife in Honduras and Venezuela, as well as global security issues, including nuclear weapons concerns in Iran and North Korea. Kent Klein, VOA News.